I got the new BC right in my hand here. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we have some mods to do to the E36 drift car. So I am tired of this cheap eBay suspension that I've had on this car this last drift season. So I went ahead and invested in some BC Racing coilovers. They're currently still sitting in the box. I also have some wheel spacers to put on because I do rub a little bit. Hey Gabe, you unlock that steering wheel for me? Turn the little key to, so you can see in here, there is a little bit of a gash out of that lower control arm right there. So I do have wheel spacers I got off eBay. They're like $95. I'll link them down in the description. I believe they're 15 mil and 20 mil for the front and rear. I'm not sure which ones I'll run, front or rear yet. We'll find out. I don't know why they're being gay up there. So we have the coilovers, we have the spacers, and also I have some O2 sensors because this thing, I don't even think it has O2s, and it's been cutting out at 5500, and I'm hoping that might solve my issue for this upcoming event here in a few weeks. This coilover was not jammed. That's not good. Alright, so Jordan bless us with some fresh hardware. With some fresh extended, wow, those are definitely extended quite a bit. One's 15 mil, one's 20 mil. You can see there, yeah, it says it. So
it's in his mouth.
Get out of your mouth. So we went ahead and put the 20 mils on the front. It does poke out just a little bit. We did put it on the ground. We did check, and it does clear the lower control arm along with the sway bar. You can see here it was rubbing in the frame, so we should be good to go on that. And I'm hoping it does not destroy the fender, but we'll see whenever we start drifting. I don't know if we need to roll them a little bit or not. But we're probably going to put the 15s on the rear just because that is not a super aggressive looking fitment we got going currently. Well, it's currently the next day and I got a little of a shave going on last night. Back to the BMW though. Last night we did figure out the spacer situation. We were just kind of playing around with that. A little bit earlier today, I went ahead and threw this driver's side seat in along with some harnesses. Now these are actually the S14 harnesses that are going to go in my 240 whenever that's up and running. But I ordered the wrong ones. I ordered some cheap eBay ones. They're over there, but they're kind of junk. So I just went ahead, threw these Crow Enterprise ones in. They're actually really nice. They have like a little cam lock. So the seat is officially bolted down. It's kind of a pain to do, but I finally got it in. It took me a little bit of time. And the harnesses are on the roll bar and bolted in. One's bolted into the chassis, one's bolted into the seat bracket. I think we'll be good to go on that. So now I think it is time to go ahead and get on to the BC Racing coilovers. I'm going to take a little bit of break from the interior stuff because it kind of gets a little bit cramped in there. A little side note, I think the spacers might give me just a touch more angle. Now this is the eBay angle mod. I have a video. I'll go ahead and link it right here so you can check that out. But that is the current angle I have on the car. It might have increased just a touch because it has a little bit more clearance and it's not rubbing anymore. I don't really know, but it's okay for what it is and how much I paid for it. So let's go ahead, kick this crap out of the way, go ahead and start unboxing these beautiful BC Racing coilovers. I went ahead and picked these up directly from them. I called them, told them what I needed, and they went ahead and shipped them out to me pretty fast. I got here in just a couple days. This is not a sponsored video, unfortunately. I needed these fast, and they got them here. So these are the fronts, ones that have the shock and the coil combined, and the BMWs have the rear spring separate from the shock. So that is the rear right there. Comes also with the sway bar link, so you can try to put your sway bar back on. I believe that's the front. I'm not running a front sway bar right now. And well, that just fell in there. That's my tow hook. So is that. Comes with your nice spanner wrenches and looks like some washers. What does it say? I don't know. And you got your instructions and your good stickers. So if you've never done coilovers on an E36, it's actually quite simple. It shouldn't take you too long. I've done this a few times. I've put the eBay suspension on that thing, and now I'm ready to take it off and get some good BCs on there. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you the process real fast. I'll keep it short, easy, so let's go ahead and get to it. First off, get the car in the air, go ahead and bust off the tires. Let's go ahead and do the fronts first. Go ahead and grab your 17mm socket and break these off. You might want to do this on the ground. I do have an impact, so I don't need to do it on the ground, but if you just have a breaker bar, you want to bust them all on the ground first, and then you'll be able to get it up in the air. Now this is just the way I like to do it. If you have a different way of doing it, or if I'm doing something wrong, please let me know down in the comments. I really don't exactly know what I'm doing. I just make videos, so bear with me on that. So now you're gonna wanna get your hood popped and go ahead and start taking off these 3 nuts off the top of the coilover. Disregard the sketchy wiring, I'm redoing this. But it's a 13mm, you wanna go ahead and buzz those off kind of in a sequence, and it should kind of drop and fall down, so be careful of that. After you get the top shock free, it should be kind of be able to move. It kind of dropped down on me a little bit. You're gonna go ahead and grab your 18mm wrench and your socket, and you're gonna go ahead and bust off this top nut and bolt here. Before you do that, you're gonna wanna take off this ABS wire and your brake line from this little bracket. You simply just pop it out that direction, and they should be free. And then you're also going to take your 18mm wrench. You want to take off this bolt here. There's also another one on the other side right where my finger is down there. And then it should be free to come out. A little helpful tip, always put the nut back on the bolt so you know which one goes where. Or if you're putting something back on, you're just taking it off, you can go ahead and run it back through the coilover and put the nut on it so you always keep track of where your hardware goes. So now I got the old eBay junk coilover out, and I got the new BC right in my hand here. And you can just see the quality difference. I might have to adjust this here. It seems a little bit short. I can easily go ahead and unscrew the bottom half and lengthen it down so I can adjust the height. I don't know. I'm going to try to throw it on right now. Pretty much just reverse the process what I did. This brake line does not have a whole lot of tension on it there, so it's not tight at all. It is just resting on, I believe, the ball joint. Anyway, let's go ahead and get the new BC Racing coilover on the car. The new BC Racing coilover on, I had to go ahead and adjust the ride height just a little bit. So I unscrewed the bottom here. I unjammed this nut and screwed this out a little bit so this space would be more, so I can go ahead and get a little bit more of a ride height. I do need to throw on the wheel and tire and see how it sits. Once I know how it sits and I like it, I'm gonna go measure this distance from here to here so I know for the other one on the other side and they'll be the same. Hopefully that's the idea behind it. It's pretty simple. Little side note that these top nuts now on the BCs are a 12mm, not a 13 like the eBay, and I think the stock ones are 13 as well. It is a little bit easier if you have a buddy here to kind of lift this up, to lift the hub and knuckle up into the top coilover, but I just did this by myself. Didn't take me that long at all. So to adjust things, I'm not very expertise at adjusting suspension, but I believe you lower the spring, it like softens the ride. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you push it up, it stiffens the front end up a little bit, and this bottom part here is your ride height. And also BC Racing does have this nice little dial in here that you can adjust the stroke or something. I don't really know. The way you do that to get them all the same is you click it all the way like hard and all the way back, and you count them, and then you can put it in the middle by splitting that number in half, and you'll be able to know on all the sides and make it even. I was super curious and went ahead and put it on the ground. Now the weight is not fully on it. I think these are still taking just a touch. I need to jack it up and pull the arms out, but you can kind of see the fitment that we have going on here. It's actually quite good for my my guess. I might go up just a little bit because I can't quite fit my hand under there. I don't want to destroy my my front tires, so I think I will go ahead and loosen the bottom of that shock just a little bit and get a little bit more ride height. Let's go ahead, move on to the rear. First step to go ahead and remove the rear is to go ahead and get in the trunk. If you have all this carpet, you'll have to peel all that back and remove these two. I believe they are 13mm as well. Also a good upgrade for your E36 are these reinforcement plates. My buddy went ahead, welded them in for me since I was having an issue with this pulling through. Definitely get those reinforcement plates at condorspeedshop.com. Those are kind of a must-have. This sheet metal right here is super thin, and if you have aftermarket coilovers, the stiff ride and the bouncing and even drifting or whatever tends to kind of pull them through. It's happened to me. Go ahead and bust those two nuts off kind of in a sequence pattern, kind of back and forth, ease it down a little bit. Then you want to go ahead and break this 18mm bolt right here. Go ahead and take that out and your shock should be free. Then to get the spring out, you're going to go ahead and it definitely helps it for a buddy. Go ahead and put your foot on the rotor, jump on it, press down. The spring should be able to pop out or grab it real fast. Just be careful not to pinch any fingers. I do believe the part that's adjustable goes to the top. I could be wrong on that. So let's go ahead and throw the spring back in. Also, I'm gonna go ahead, if you want, you can go ahead and reuse these rubber pieces that came out of it. Looks good, let's throw it in. Alrighty, just got the rear on. First off, I go ahead and put the top shock in. I'm by myself, kind of had to use one of these seats to kind of prop it up. Go ahead and buzz those on, tighten them up. I went ahead and loosened this quite a bit, this lower body of the shock here, so I can get it dropped down far enough. But before I put that bolt in, I went ahead and tossed the spring in. I didn't adjust that at all. And then I had to lower it down, it's close to the ground. I went in and took my floor jack, placed it underneath the knuckle or the rotor, and went ahead and jacked it up a little bit so I can go ahead and connect the bottom of the shock to the knuckle. I just had to jack it up just a touch. The old eBay ones are kind of crap, so I had to jack it up quite a bit. It was kind of sketchy, but this spring in here adjusts the stiffness kind of in the back. My buddy Andy has the eBay suspension, and this spring was super compressed in the back and was just bouncing all the time. This right here adjusts the ride height, so if I need to go ahead and drop it or lower it, I can do so by that, I believe. Also, just like the fronts, the back has the hard and soft adjustment on the top of the coilover. Super cool feature for that. Went ahead and got it on the ground, and you can see it's sitting pretty good. I actually like how this is sitting back here. kicking my light. I like how it is sitting back here. It's a good height. Now when you do this, you definitely need to get an alignment because you kind of knock things out of whack. So that is that side. Little side note also on the front, make sure you have your camber adjustment facing this way so you can push it in and out and adjust it how you need to. They also provide these little washers, and they say put the spacers in between the suspension bracket and hub bracket to change camber. So you can do that if you want. I think I'm just gonna leave it how it is. I am liking how this is looking. I did put the spacer on the back. Looks a lot better, definitely not perfect. The front looks a lot better. So there's 20 mil spacer on the front and 15 on the rear. So this is just a simple install video. I was gonna show you guys how to do it for your E36. The E36 platform is getting wildly popular, so a lot more people are getting them and wanting to drift them because they are such great drift cars. Oh, that's a whole nother video on that. I know a lot of you guys are BMW E36 guys. I took a poll recently and I think 58% wanted to see more BMW videos. So that is what I'm gonna give you guys, a lot more BMW content. I actually bought another E36. You'll see that in an upcoming video. But after I drive this car around and drift it for a couple times, I will do a review, the BCs versus the max speeding rods, BR, kind of cheap eBay ones. But for the money, they are a super consistent, high quality part. I definitely would recommend them. Like I said, this video is not sponsored, but I've only heard good things about BC, and it's definitely an important upgrade for your car. It's something I've kind of noticed is that you cheap out on suspension, it kind of gets you in the long run, you have to buy it twice. But like I said, that'll be another video. That is going to do it for this install, guys. I really hope it helped you out, so you can go ahead and install some sweet BC Racing coilovers on your E36. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Helps the video get shared, helps more people find the channel, and helps the channel grow. So thank you guys so much for watching again. Catch you guys in the next one.